Hello and welcome to the Batcave. I'm your host, BlindBat8719. On today's video, I'm going to be going over my Orah Skyclave Hierophant deck. This is a deck, he's a legendary creature, of course. He's a Kor Cleric, 2 white and a black. He has lifelink, and whenever Orah, Skyclave Hierophant, or another cleric you control dies, return target cleric card with lesser converted mana cost from your graveyard to the battlefield, and he's a 3/3. So I went with kind of the more obvious route with Orah, where I'm going to build a cleric tribal deck. Though I put more of an emphasis on, as I was looking over the cards, gaining life and putting +1/+1 counters on my creatures, as opposed to trying to create endless loops of bringing back clerics from my graveyard to the battlefield. There is some of that in the deck, but I prioritize more the life gain and the +1/+1 counters. Before I go over the deck, I would just like to say, if you get a chance, please like the video, or click the like button if you end up liking my video. Subscribe if you want to see more Brawl content. I'm trying to put out a Brawl video once a week at least. And leave a comment below on how you would have built an Orah deck, what suggestions you would have for how I could build the deck, and any play suggestions you would have made, or any suggestions on how I can play better. I'm also still new to the channel, creating a channel, so I would like any feedback you can give me regarding how to sound better, play better, or look better for the channel. Alright, with that out of the way, onto the deck. So, the first aspect I want to go over is my ramp. I don't have a lot of ramp. I usually try to have about 6 pieces of ramp. White and black aren't really known for ramping, so I just took what I thought were the basics with an Arcane Signet. This way it's an easy 2 cost artifact that adds 1 white and black to our mana pool. White or black. Skyclave Relic. Again, there's not a lot of ramp colors, ramp choices in these colors, so I thought giving a shout out for Skyclave Relic would be a good call. It's indestructible, and it's versatile that if we have a lot of mana later on, we can kick it to get more mana. We do have some expensive spells in the deck, but that balances out because those are actually lands for the most part. And then Solemn Simulacrum. Solemn Simulacrum. Again, if you play him for 4, you get a land out of your deck, and he's 2/2 body. He doesn't really fit with the cleric theme, but he's just a good versatile card. He's colorless, so no matter what lands we have in play, we can use him. Next up are my card draw spells. Again, I should have closer to 6 in the deck. I only have 3. However, with some of the ways with Orah bringing things back from our graveyard to the battlefield, and a couple other cards in our deck that bring things directly from the graveyard to the battlefield, that is a way we can generate card advantage. So it's kind of okay that I'm a little shy on my card draw spell. So I'm using Village Rites. With Orah out, anything we sacrifice should bring something else back, so we're not really going down a card by sacrificing the creature for the Village Rites. So I thought it was very thematic and on theme for the deck. It's also an instant in 1 black. So it's very cheap to run, and it can definitely blank some removal spells, namely like Murderous Rider. If they cast the swift end part of that, if we sacrifice the creature in response, we actually negate the spell due to lack of target, therefore it doesn't go into exile, so they also lose the creature side of there. Relic Vial, probably more of a bomb in limited, or a good synergistic card in limited, but because it has that extra text about when you control, as long as you control a cleric, Relic Vial basically drains our opponent for 1 whenever a creature I control dies. So it gives us another effect. This is I think our second or third effect like this in the deck. So I thought it would be a good inclusion. And again, we have the option of sacrificing creatures to draw cards. And with Orah out, we'll get hopefully another creature back, so we're not really losing board presence. And then Rankle, Master of Pranks. While Rankle himself isn't a cleric, he is a rogue, and there is a few cards, I think there's like 1 or 2 cards in here that care about the party mechanic. So the fact that we have a rogue in here gives us a little bit of a greater discount at least. I probably expect to use the sacrifice ability mostly with Rankle, but the drawing card and discarding can be useful as well. Our single target removal. Kabira Takedown, while it may not be the most premier thing, it's very situational that the creature has to be actually no, I didn't read it as well. It deals damage to target creature or player. So it targets creatures or planeswalkers, number of creatures we have in play. It's more that the versatility of it being a land. Sometimes you're gonna we're very much trying to lower to the ground on our curve. We want to be aggressive, so we don't want to be missing land drops. So it might be one of these things that early on, if I don't, it's better to play this as the land, so that we at least make our land drops, because sometimes we can, to prevent mana screw. Or if we already have plenty of mana, we can just clearly use the Kabira takedown aspect to eliminate one of our opponent's creatures or planeswalkers. Unexpected Fangs. Again, I was trying to play up more of the +1/+1 counter idea in the deck, and I thought that giving something lifelink counter was pretty useful, because usually spells like this, they might leave a counter for +1/+1, but lifelink is temporary, so the fact that we gave a permanent lifelink counter to a creature that may not normally have lifelink, I thought would be a good touch for the deck. Demon's Disciple. This is a card the style of card has seen a lot of play in Magic's history. It's relatively good, especially if they only have one creature out. I was running a test game before where the person was focusing more on mutating their one big creature. So they may have gotten 3 or 4 mutations out on the creature, but it's only one creature. So Demon's Disciple is an easy way, since we tend to go a little wider, of dealing with opponents who want to mutate one big creature. Murderous Rider. He's not a cleric, but again, he's just the duality of Swift End being able to destroy creatures and planeswalkers, and then getting a creature on the other side of it. It's very it's versatile. It's 2 cards in one, so lets us go above 60 cards in our deck that regards. So that's why he's in the deck. E to Extinction. Again, more removal for creatures and planeswalkers. Lets us look at our top card at least as well, and it exiles it, which gets around some shenanigans that play out of the graveyard. Hagra Mauling. This is a new one from Zendikar Rising. Again, it's mostly in here because I have the option of playing it as a land if I need the land drop, or as a removal spell if I need the removal spell. Next up are our board wipes. I'm only running 2 in the deck. I thought Extinction Event is good because it gives us a little selection choices over, again, maybe we have more even things than our opponent, or again, we could probably try to take advantage if there's a disparity in the mana cost of our creatures that are on play. And then Undo Inversion. It's a good catch-all just to blow up everything. If we're behind, it could even things out for us. Also, again, if we have Orah out, us losing things to the graveyard isn't as bad because we'll just get them back into play anyways. So it could ultimately become a one-sided board wipe, depending on how things are set up. And again, even though it costs 8 mana, the fact that there's a land on the other side, if we have this in our opening hand, it's not a dead card. We could just play this as our land as first, and hopefully then curve out and beat up on our opponent, so we don't need the other half. Alright, and these basically are the clerics that I'm running in the deck. Speaker of the Heavens. We do tend to gain 7 of life relatively fast enough where we can be attacking with Speaker of the Heavens, hopefully with some counters on him, and then getting 4/4 Angels every turn. So he's really good for our aggressive approach to the deck. Archfiend's Vessel. With Orah, if we're able to get the Archfiend to the graveyard quickly, Orah will be one way. Anything else dies, Orah dies. We can bring back the Archfiend Vessel, which will then exile itself to create a 5/5 demon creature with flying. So that is, it's something that's very thematic, and it's something we can be able to trigger most of the time. Impassioned Orator. Again, I was going more in the life gain aspect, so as a cleric that gains life whenever a creature comes into play, that's good for me. Luminarch Aspirant. This way we can slowly build up our team. I thought the idea of getting a counter beginning of combat every turn is very useful. Nullpriest of Oblivion. It's a good 2-drop with Menace and Lifelink. We could play a pump spell or like the Luminarch Aspirant or something else to give it +1/+1 counters. Makes it very difficult. Late game for 6. It lets us bring another creature back from our graveyard to the field. So it works. It's a very versatile card with the kicker. Cleric of Life's Bond. It's another creature that gains us life whenever, in this case, another cleric enters the battlefield, and he grows whenever the first time we gain life each turn. Kor Celebrant. Again, it's another one of those that lets us gain life whenever another creature enters the battlefield under our control. He's also a 1/4 body, so it's a good blocker. Marauding Blight Priest. This is one of the payoffs for gaining that life. While it's not as good as Vito, who's in the deck, it does trigger for every instance that we gain of life. So if we gain, like Vito, we have 3 creatures of lifelink, we would gain. Oh, actually, that's a good example. I'm not sure that would get triggered 3 times. I might only trigger once. I need a judge to actually double check me on that one. But with all the times we're playing out creatures and gaining those little packets of 1 life, This is a way for slowly attack our opponent. If so, we get them low enough, but they build up a good defensive board. This is one of the few ways we can do to try to indirectly drain their life total. Tabernac's Host's Demise. This is the card I want to try out. I haven't had a chance to play him out yet, but he seems very fun. If we get trying to get 5 counters on him to give him lifelink, that would make him 7/7 at that point. And whenever a non-token creature controller dies, put 1 counter on him. So we have a lot of clerics. So this is another way I forgot the second half of the text, so he probably should go in with a card draw aspect. But yeah, it's another way we can draw cards at least, since we're a cleric-centric deck. Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. He's one of our win cons in the deck. Get our opponent low enough, heavy late enough in the game, we can just swing out, give everything lifelink, and then Veto will take care of the rest, even if all the creatures die. Basri's Acolyte. This seems to be a really powerful card in Limited, and we do tend to curve out pretty well, so I thought it would be a good one to include in here. We have a few clerics that cost more than Basri, so if this dies and we're able to get it back from a 5 cost or greater cleric dying, I think that'd be really backbreaking for the opponent at times. Angel and Distant, I just got the card, so I was excited to put it into this deck. It does gain our opponent's life, which is not what we necessarily want to be doing, but we gain life fast enough that we might be able to win with the alternate condition of having 15 life or more than our starting life total and having Angel Destiny have attacked our opponent. So, I mean, flying and double strike, if we can give it lifelink somehow, I think it definitely would be a beating. Victor's Envoy. Again, it's a cleric, and at the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 count on each creature you control. So unless if we already went wide, and this somehow survives to turn 6, we can start putting making our army a lot bigger. And then Drawn to the Last Blood Chief. She is a cleric. I thought, well, again, we're all about getting things. Well, the third theme of the deck is getting things out of the graveyard. This has the +1/+1 counter on it theme as well. It just seemed like a nice auto include. It has flying. It's a 4/4. Seems like a good top end for being aggressive. This is this is what's kind of left over in the deck. Again, I want to give this a try. It does bring things back from the graveyard, which we're trying to do with Orah. And if we need it, we can be a land, so we won't be missing our land drops. Same thing with Sejiri Shelter. It's more of a combat trick. This is kind of the combat trick bit a little bit. So Malachar Rebirth. So where we get the creature back, they thought they killed it. Sejiri Shelter. Skyclave Cleric. It's another thing that just gains us quick life. Also is a land drop. It's also a cleric. Basri Ket is one of our enabler cards. It definitely puts 1/1 counters on our creatures to make them grow bigger. I haven't really been using his -2 ability to go wide, but his +1 ability has been really useful so far. I've been able to, in one practice game, pull off his emblem, and if we were able to get that far and our opponent can't answer Basri, if we play Basri on curve and they're unable to answer him in a timely manner, his emblem will take over the game and we will win. Mecha Godzilla, he's not a cleric, but yeah, he has all these counters being put on him. He's colorless, so I felt like he was just a fun maybe not auto, but he's a fun inclusion into the deck. We can cast him no matter what. There's no mana restrictions, and as long as we have 3 lands, we can cast him. And I just think he'd be a fun card to put into the deck. If he's unanswered, he can definitely be a powerhouse. Unbreakable Bond, it's a little more reanimation into the deck. Gives it lifelink, so it's still playing up reanimation with the gaining life aspect. And Amarius Call, it's one of those, again, late game spells that I could play for a land early on if I need the land drop. So that's really why it's in the deck. It does make us a little bit easier to do an Alpha Strike where we won't lose any creatures that we already have. It'll leave behind 2 blockers. Lands, the dual land that's in the Zendikar Rising. Cast an Ardenvale to create some tokens, maybe to go wide later in the game. Idyllic Range probably won't go off, but I saw the +1/+1 counter on it, so I thought, give it a try in the deck. 5 plains, 6 swamps, Castle Lockwing to help with the card draws, so that puts us up to 5 card draw spells in the deck. Scoured Barrens for fixing, Temple of Science, fixing and scrying. Base Camp, I figured give it a try. It's a little slow, but it I think it's slightly better 2-color spell, 2-color land we could play that helps. Most of our deck is clerics, so I thought it's something to try out. Bonder's Enclave, it's another card draw spell, so now we're up to 6. We don't have many naturally 4-power creatures, but I think we can definitely get there with the +1/+1 theme. Command Tower, of course, is an auto-include in Brawl. Evolving Wild to help fix, same thing with Fabled Passage. Field of Ruin to blow up some troublesome lands on our opponent's side. And a Labyrinth of Scophos, because why not? Why not make our lands work twice as hard? Give us mana and give us abilities. So that is a deck I'll be playing today. That's it for the deck tech. Let's get into the arena for some Brawl. Hello and welcome to the Batcave. We're playing against Mikey B296, piling in a Joel L. Monvuli Recluse. So mono green, they're going to probably have a lot of try as many card draw spells. So I always forget the artifact's name, and I know Guardian Project will probably... Oh, Guardian Project is no longer in format. Right. So that won't be in here. We're going to mulligan this because we only have white sources and no black. Yeah, we're going to take the free mulligan here. Better in terms of mana? Yeah, I'll keep this. We only have a Mecha Godzilla for the moment. It's not as aggressive of a start. Well, we can slowly get there. I'm going to play the class of Lifegain out first since we don't have a swamp. Alright, Joel is out. Alright, so Rankle's not going to be as good because they're going to create tokens. They'll just sacrifice the tokens. This will not be as good as a free spell or a cheap spell. Double black, double white. I need that for the white, so I'll play this out for the black source. Again, that's one of the benefits of playing. I'm playing these modial lands cards that will also act as lands. So this way, it's a way of sneaking in more lands into the deck, so we'll prevent mana screw. Right now, we're not really expecting. I mean, they could fight eventually, but I'm not expecting that as much. Or I don't have any creatures to worry about the fighting at the moment. So again, Demon's Disciple is another card that'd be great, except they have a token they're going to sacrifice the effect. I say we just go with the white source here for the Bright Path Climb. Let's go with Mecha Godzilla. He's an artifact creature, so Crystalline Giant is his actual name. We get the Death Touch trigger. Alright, so we have Death Touch. Hexproof is one of the better ones to get here, but Death Touch is good because if they get a fight card... Alright, so they return to nature. Which is actually, I would say, a good versatile card. I know it's usually a sideboard in limited, but I feel in Brawl, it's something that, since it does 3 different things, and you're going to expect to see all 3 in Brawl, I think it's a good inclusion. Alright, they have 4. They can always recast out Mole out of them. Destroy target creature. I think I don't want to wait because they might have some bigger things. Let me go with Rankle. Let's just attack. Just doing one of the dismiss. Each draw a card. Sacrifice 3 doesn't work for me. Discard and draw. Discard and draw sounds good. Let me build up the graveyard real quick, so that when I cleric, so each way then I can fill it up with cleric, so that when I play out Orah out, which I might play next turn. I can start getting things back. Also possible I could play out 2 creatures next turn so that Rankle can make them start sacrificing creatures. We'll probably sacrifice the Solemn right now. Basri's Acolyte. And I don't have a 1-drop to take advantage of her. Okay, so let's go with Impassioned Orator. Let's go with Tabarak, Toast Demise. Let's swing. Let's go with the... Don't want to use Rankle that effect. Use this one instead. We're not going to discard because I like what I have in my hand. I'm going to sacrifice the Orator to now draw a card. If I had chose sacrifice and draw, it would have sacrificed the Solemn to draw a card, and then would have drawn again, which would have triggered Jalal again to get another token into play. Alright, so there's a 6 land if we need it. Alright, so we got a 3/3 here. They got a mostly full group of 6. They could draw with the Bonder's Enclave. Vivian. So they get to see the top card of their library. I don't think they have a creature they're really going to play for 1. But a 3/3 with Preach is what I would expect. Alright. So I do want to play out. I would like to play out Basri's Acolyte, but I only have enough white. So I think we go with the Arcane Signet to get the white going. I can play out this for the light as a land. I do like the idea of just here putting 2 counters on. Maybe, play this out as a land. And I think we'll try to take out Vivian here. So that we can't get any more value out of her.
Seems I need to evolve too.
So, alright, so at this point, I could have Basri's Acolyte block the 3/3 and die to give us another counter on Tabrax. Alright, draw a card. What did that do? Scale the heights? Until a creature gains life, make additional lands turn, draw a card. Alright. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so we're playing Orah out next turn and maybe sacrificing Basri's to get her back. Get back Tabrax. Archfiend's Vessel. Okay, we have that combo going. Do we have enough to do all that stuff? I think we do. Alright, so let's start by doing Orah. Let's play out F3, right? So let's play out the Archfiend's Vessel. And then I think we swing with Rankle. And the Acolyte. Should we get back? We can pull a few tricks off then. I would say that, let's see, what can we do here? Alright, so the 4/4 trait there, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Could sacrifice him now, but that won't get me anything back, so let's have those hit. Heroic Intervention. Yep, I got nothing against that. Alright. Fine there. Alright, so I'm gonna pass. I'd rather maybe keep the Village Rites up to block one of their creatures. It's possible they can definitely get trample. Get trampling creatures out. But I'm going to think that they're not going to give everything trample right away. So I will just block with my Archfiend's Vessel, sacrifice it. Presumably against the 4/4. And then it'll give me a 5/5 into play. In future. That is a fun card. What is he getting back? He's getting Ram Through and he's getting Heroic Intervention. I imagine he's going to use Ram Through on Orah. Oh, he can do both. Alright, so I have to time the Mauling then with Heroic Intervention on the stack. So I'm hoping he uses it this turn, the combo. Alright, let me go with Village Rites now. Sacrifice him. This way, if either one of these dies, I can get back 2 things. So, and as there was additional cost to cast, they didn't have a chance to respond. Alright, so 2 lands. Well, Undo Inversion's pretty bad with a Heroic Intervention in their hand. So, we are definitely not casting that right now. If I play out the Swamp, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is also 4 for the effect. Alright, so I think we're just going to use Temple of Silence. Set up our next draw. Evolving Wilds is not something we want. And I think at this point we're just going to lay back. No attacks. End the turn. So we're going to hold off on the Hogger Mauling. I mean, I could try to use it now to bait something. But I feel like I had to hit something juicy enough for them to want to use it. And again, Heroic Intervention I think works a little better when it's a surprise. Now that I know he has it, I have to work around it. Oh. Alright. So now is the time. They're going to get triple mana. Now is the time to try to pull this off. Alright, pass. Let's force them to use this now. We can't let them untap all that mana with the Nyx Bloom Ancient. So they either let it die or use the Heroic Intervention now. If they choose to... Okay, they're going to try to save it. Okay. Alright, that's fine. That's kind of what we want. Alright, Spirit of the Heavens. So right now I can get back a couple things. I can get back 3 things. So, alright. So I'm looking for a 9. If I want to play both these, I have a 9 mana play. There's no point in attacking because they'll just die, and then the Undo Inversion doesn't do as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have exactly 9. There's no reason to play out the Speaker first. I would say no. So let's just wipe the board, destroy everything. Take the action. Oh! Okay, no, it's all good. I thought we lost out on the... I forgot it was... Alright, so for the 1... They're both 4s. So we'll bring back Tabrix. And we'll bring back the Archfiend's Vessel. We have 5/5. 2/2. That's Speaker of the Heaven. Alright, so now all they have left is the Ram Through, which they can still use to good effect. It's easily for them, they have 8 mana, easily for them to play a 6-drop. It has, you know, at least 6 power, I would think. Then use Ram Through to kill Tabrix, or at the Demon at this point, Scavenge and Ooze. Well, that kind of upsets our plans for the most part. He can just exile everything in our graveyard, all our creatures. Alright, so no more Basri's Acolyte. He's got another 4 mana, so we might as well just say goodbye to all our creatures. Ram through on that. Alright, well now he's going to go goodbye. I've played against a lot of Scavenging Oozes in Commander with my friends. My one friend loves playing his mono green deck, and I have loved playing Graveyard Strategy, so Scavenging Ooze slowly ticking up is a familiar sight, unfortunately. And alright, so I have Rankle, Demon's Disciple, and a Mecha Godzilla. So how does this work? Does it return target creatures? So I have to choose targets and it enters a battlefield. So I could target and then he would have to pick again. So let's see. I think I just swing first. So I have to figure out a way to kill that, start gaining some life. If I don't do this now, I'm going to lose all my creatures. Menace and Lifelink. Well, I'm going to do this. Force him to use it. I'll take the one hit. Let me draw. There we go. Okay. I'll just get rid of this now. I know I should maybe hold on to the eat for a larger creature, but right now with having a Nullpriest of Oblivion in my graveyard, if they play out the... Depending if he leaves me the Sacrifice Cleric, probably not. Oh, okay, there goes one. He might go for the mech. If he keeps the Sacrifice one into play, I can see what he gets rid of here. He got rid of that one. Alright, so best we got now is the Mecha Godzilla. We'll put that to the graveyard. We do not need any more lands. Alright, so we still have Rankle, so we have ways of dealing with play out one creature. Joel out, and I think another creature to come out here. Keeper of Fables. A land. Okay. Alright, so at this point, it probably doesn't matter. So let's cast it with Kicker. I would say let's grab the Rankle. Alright. Attack. 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 At this point I think each player discards a card. And Sacrifice doesn't seem that useful to us right now, only because we'll just replay out Joel. We got 2 flyers that deal 8 damage in the air. So he's going to use the Bonders onto to draw another card, get a 2/2 blocker. Doesn't really matter because, again, doesn't have reach. He's trying to find either a fight card or something with the reach that can block our flying attackers. Now we could draw something with a +1/+1 counter effect to put on Rankle. That would be sweet just to be able to close out the game. Maze Mind Tome from our opponent. We're gonna scry. I don't know, I think I would have probably chosen the drawn there. Okay. 4/5. Draw a card. I'm not gonna be getting there with this. Actually, no, that's fine. They can draw the card. He knows what it is, so it's probably a removal spell now that I think about it. That's why he scried first. I'm sorry, the reason why I didn't block is I figured since Nullpriest has Menace, he needs a block with both creatures to do it, which means Speaker will get through and I'm able to kill. And there's Transformation. Alright. So, alright, 1 flyer goes down. So 5, 6, we have exactly 9. Let's draw another card. I don't know why he would tap that. I should have auto-tapped. I wouldn't have wanted to tap that. Alright. I would say... let's put him on it. I mean, let's go for... we go for lethal? We'll just block that. Doesn't kill anything, so might as well just keep that back. Alright. Down to 4. I would say discard, do the battlefield. Do you want to sacrifice anything? Say each creature sacrifice, and let's do a draw. Skyclave Relic doesn't really do us anything. It doesn't puzzle onto the Field of Ruin. Do I get rid of my only blocker? Good point. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the blocker. Yeah, Field of Ruin. And end the turn. So at this point, Rankle has lethal in the air at least. We outnumber them with creatures on the ground, so they have to find an answer for Rankle. Entirely possible I drew them into something. Well, they're drawing with Maya's main home. They're getting a second blocker. Now, not the worst thing in the world that I did sacrifice the 1-drop. I could play out Orah, sacrifice, or whenever Nullpriest dies, I can get back my Speaker of the Heavens. Twice damage each creature with flying. Alright. So they found an answer to deal with Aerial Assault. Primal Might. Okay, yeah, can't do anything about that. Guess I didn't realize I had the lifelink though, so that's good. But it removed a piece on my side of the board. Yeah, really upset that this was tapped by the auto tapper. I'm gonna use the Field of Ruin. I'm gonna blow this up so they can't draw any more cards. Not that they've really used it, but I don't want to give them the opportunity to. I know I'm drawing out one more land out of their deck so they don't have to one less dead draw for them, but also one less dead draw for us. Unbreakable Bond. That actually might be the thing that wins us the game right now. So let's go with Swamp. Unbreakable Bond. Get back the Rankle. Did we get there? Yes! Alrighty, Unbreakable Bond for the win. Woo! Hello and welcome to the Batcave. We're playing against Fergus, piloting a Yorvo Lord of Gandring deck. So this is going to be about big creatures and probably some +1/+1 counters, but mostly big green creatures. We got 3 lands, Plains with the Ardenvale. Not super impressive, but I still kind of like it. We got players on 2 and 3. Right now, Haggard's Mullins 3 because they don't control any land, so that's kind of cool. Interesting coding glitch. Say hello. See that jog? Alright. Let's lead off with the Silence. Key to Extinction sounds good. We drew our 4th Swamp, so we're good on lands. I realized after I said this we had the Hogwarts Mullen we could have used as a tap land, but I think at this point it's good for as a removal spell. Amount of time gets the Beanstalk Giant. So they don't. So I guess they have enough lands in hand. Otherwise they would have searched for a land. Scavenging used for a 2-drop maybe. Closer. Okay, good 2-drop. So let's play out the Plains. Let's play out the Nullpriest of Oblivion. Unkick, minus lifelink. Next they're gonna get a 4/4 Zuzaloff Seeking. Right, so they really had a lot of lands in their hand. Or just the 1 extra. No blocks. We'll play out Vito. We'll gain the life back. Alright, so now let's play the Swamp. Make sure we have our double black set up. In case we draw the Castle Blockwing. Life, hit him again, so that was like 4 damage, which is nice. Alright, so now they have 2 things to keep back for a block. Even, I have even, odd, odd, even. I don't have anything in the graveyard to get back. It's not really a good attack for me. Probably block with the Solemn. I can use E for the Extinction on the Solemn though. Nullpriest. Take the damage. I think I want to use this on even, so I'm going to hold off till see what my opponent does. Probably possibly use a heroic intervention, but their commander's odd. Veto's really what's helping me out at the moment. Wild Scourge. If they use the fight, which they might here. This is odd. So the odds are winning right now. Doesn't fight? I thought this one fought. Okay. So odd. Alright. This just destroys every creature. Going for odds. Let's get rid of some evens. We do have multicolored things, so we'll just go that now. Onto inversion. I don't see us. We want that, possibly want that. But right now we'll play the Ardent Veil. Eat to Extinction. Can't give anything double lifelink. Can't get back anything either. Seems like a waste to go for the odd stuff, but let's name odd. And we can just, they can't block the null. It maybe it's wrong to have wiped the board there, but I just felt like since I had such a great ability to, you know, I would come out better on that exchange. The nature. All right, that's a good use of that, or an interesting use of it to join, basically cycle it essentially. Yorgo still can't block me. Oh, and there we go. All right, cool. Hello and welcome to the Batcave. We're playing against Captain Wolf, piloting an Omnath Locus of Creation deck. As I said in a previous video, I enjoyed building my Omnath deck. I'm still going to tweak around with it. So we're going to expect a lot of landfall shenanigans. We need ways probably to deal with Omnath. Matter of Mauling might actually get the discount with it being a 4-color deck. Fabled Passage for a black source. Impassioned Orator on 2. Yeah, I think this can maybe get something going. We have a flying 3-drop. Sure, we'll keep this. And then on 4 we have Orah. So let's say hello to the opponent. Turn. Fabled Passage is one of those cards. Good for us. It's even more amazing for the Omnath player, as it'll let them get the second activation for Omnath. So essentially, if they play the Fabled Passage with Omnath out, I almost clicked on the wrong land there. With Omnath out, they would basically get the first landfall trigger, search for the second land, it comes into play untapped as long as they have another, that's their fourth or fifth land, and then they'll get another 4-mana, so it's a way of almost ramping to get 2 spells out in a turn. Alright, Impassioned Orator from us. Lands, Woodland Mystic. Alright, so there's the ramp. So we got double greens. We don't have to worry about that too much right now. Trying to get... Alright, Castle Ardenvale out. This is when something dies. He can't kill this, so let's just swing for 2. I don't think he's going to block at this point. He wants the creature for the ramp. Do I take care of the ramp? That is a good question. He's got double green though, So I'm not going to worry about him having its colors right now. So if this was a red source, I may consider getting rid of the Woodland Mystic, because that means they could get out Omnath a turn early. Okay. A lot of green, so we don't have to worry about Omnath for a little while right now. Alright, so that is going to have to die. Alright, so I would really like to curve out, but that's not going to be a good idea. So we are going to get rid of Kieran now. Let's play out the land just in case. So if I need to, I can use Unexpected Fangs to maybe save a creature. Scour Barons. I don't think it was worth playing here. I'd rather keep up the Fangs. This is a possibility. Alright, so next turn we're looking. Well, we have the kill spell, we have the Fangs, we have Orah we could play out. We don't really have anything in our graveyard to bring back. Just, yeah, spell and land. So, alright, so they got. Alright, so now we gotta start worrying about Omnath coming out next turn. But what is nice, could they have played him out? They played out, use the 3. They actually could have played out Omnath this turn. Or they didn't want any landfall triggers. If they had searched first instead of playing the land. 50. Alright, so they got a blocker. Sure, hit us for 1. Totally fine. That was my turn. Okay. Malakir Rebirth. Scour Barons. I would say let's swing. Probably block my 2/2 flyer. No, okay. So at this point, I don't see the point. I got double black. Alright, so he's got an island in hand. I feel like they're going to have some sort of wipe. If they have a wipe, I'd be able to bring back the Orator, but not Tabarak. So I think what my plan is here, if they go after Tabarak, I'll use Malakor's Rebirth to bring it back. Alright, so we have Omnath out. They're going to play Fabled Passage, like I was saying. Alright, so there's the 4 life they gain back. Alright, I think at this point, we're going to kill the Omnath. They don't get the trigger for the second. You get an extra 5 mana. Can they replay? I don't have any color. So, they don't have enough to replay, so that's fine. Alright, if I play out the Signet, that's 2, that gives me 4. I think we're better off sticking with. Let's swing first, see what happens. We're gonna play out Omnath next turn. Nothing to get back. I think let's just set up some more. Orah saves me from a board wipe situation. Yeah. This way, if Orah dies, I get to bring back my whole field. I know. Yeah. I was like, why did the Malakir Rebirth flash up? But I like the spell more than I like the land. Right. So plays the island. He gets 1 trigger. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 mana left over afterwards. He can't board wipe with the colors he has, so I don't have to worry about that right now. Gaining the life's going to be the annoying part. Maria's Call. Nothing has reach, but I do get to get a lot of 4/4 flyers, so I do like that. 5, 6. 1 short, figures. Oh, because I thought it was flashing so I can cast. It's flashing because it's land. think we swing out. Maybe keep the Orator back. I bring. So I want Orah to die so I can draw with this. I think that's what we'll do. We'll let everything die if we need to. So they block. Yeah, they can't kill Tabaraks. But we can draw another land. Alright, so that happens there. Yeah, I'm checking the same thing too, buddy, but I don't think I have anything I can bring back here. Alright, so I think if they both die, I think I'd rather kill the commander action. So let's go 1/1 counter, or just to kind of act as a removal spell. Take the action, we'll move into the command zone. Alright, we get to bring that back, draw a card. Another card. Really? No more lands? I think at this point then we just go with Kor Celebrant. Go wide. And let's play out the land. Really hoping to use it for the spell effect, but I think the idea of blowing up their creature, not blowing everything up, I think going big might be slightly better. The Omnath has a lot of resilience because once again, it's self-perpetuating that they're built around ramps. So as long as they get to cast more ramp spell, it allows them to kind of be able to keep replaying Omnath. Take us for 4. Hopefully, though, we can take to the skies with these angels and beat down that way. Do you have anything for 5 mana potentially? Alright, goes for 2. I'm fine with that. Evolving Wilds. Alright. So, Amaria's Call. Swing in indiscriminately. Gain 4 life. All attack. So. Alright. 15. Alright, end the turn. Alright, so now we got 12 in the air. Azusa could definitely help him get back into this. Alright, that's the first land drop. Gain the 4 life. That 1 Tabarak damage. I don't think I have a creature in my graveyard. I don't. So, kicking Nullpriest isn't as great, though I think I still want to hold on to it just as a way to get back another creature. Might even let Orah stay in the graveyard if that were to happen. Just kick her to bring him back. Alright, second landfall trigger. Now at this point, this late in the game, we have to worry about some ultimatums. Genesis ultimatum. Really, no, not really an ultimatum. That's the Esper one. I forget what the Jeskai one is. But the Jeskai one is the one we have to worry about. We get hit for another 4. Not worrying about that. Basically, big card draw spells would not be good for us. So I'm not gonna block. I'll just take the 8. I don't want to put it on that this time, so because they will just replay him and draw another card. So at this point, since we're just top decking, giving them the ability to draw another card with recasting Omnath is not what we want to be at. We'll get a swamp. All right, that's actually not bad. So let's see. Any reason to attack crazy head on and have anything die? I replay Orah. I I like the idea of having insurance just in case. Need some more life. Next. Have those go. I think. Let's see what else they can kill. They can kill both of these guys. I get to draw some cards. If these both die, I get to bring one back. But that also gives me, let me draw some cards. So I think we'll be aggressive in that regard. So let's go take the damage. Now they're down to 4. Alright, end the turn. So they're going to probably get at least one landfall trigger. That'll put them up to 8 life. Which means our angels at least take care of them. If he gets a board wipe, he's back. He's not great because I basically can bring back my entire board. I can Orah dies, bringing back Tabarek. Tabarek dies, bringing back the 2-drop. I get to draw 3 cards at least with Tabarek, I would say. So I'm thinking with him tapping his lands that way. Oh, all right. So I thought it was being ultimatum. Maybe an X spell. Password search kicked. That is nice. All right. Orah might be dying here to save us some damage. So we got 10, 16. Alright. I can see why. Alright, so if I block the 6, that's 10. Oh god, that was so close. That's a 16 exact, but since Orah has life, they go up to 3. And we're going to lose 1 life to draw another card. Just to be on the safe side, decline. Take the action, draw a card. Don't shock me for 2. Now it just comes down to they have a way to deal 2 more damage to me. Totally fine with that. Let's float a white instead of destroying it, just in case if something happens. Resolve. Take the action. Search for another white source then. Tell me that's not the 3rd time. It's the 2nd time. You can't draw a card. Alright, that was... So actually then, what he probably should have done... No, actually destroying his own... He actually should have destroyed his own land then. I mean, you don't know what you're going to draw off the top of your deck there, but if he destroyed his own land, he could have searched for 1 land. That would have been the land drop to give him up to, which would have given him the 4 extra mana. And then if he top decks a land, he was able to then get the 4 damage to finish me off. That was a very close game. That was a lot of fun. Alright, so that is it for my Orah Skyclave Hierophant deck. I've had a lot of fun playing the deck. Yeah, I had a few misplays, a couple of things where I clicked too quickly, or things I should have recognized. I have this habit sometimes that I have to break of just yes, 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 because I'm too excited to do my next thing to not stop and realize, oh wait, I want to do this thing at the end of their turn or the very last minute, and not realizing that that last minute moment has already passed me by. So I am trying to get better about that. I think the biggest one that came from the gameplay was not using Bonner's Enclave before they stole my Orah that had 2 counters on it, because that left me with no ways to actually use the Bonner's Enclave. Overall, the deck I felt did pretty well. I think we did a decent job of being having aggressive draws when we did, and deck can be aggressive and take our opponent down really quickly. It does have some staying power with being able to reanimate out of the graveyard. Overall, whenever the quest comes up, did you cast white and black spells? I know Orah will be my new deck to go towards to play that, to meet that quest. Not really many things I was unhappy with. I do find that the Modial face cards, the ones that have a spell on one side and a land on the back, even the ones that are like the uncommons that they come into play tap, I still find those useful, because while I don't always think of them as lands, but when I do recognize that, oh wait, I'd have no use for this spell now, or I want to meet my, I have something, I need to be able to hit something higher up on the curve, being able to play them out for a land when needed, I think is a great ability to have, especially for a deck like this that's tempo based. And while yes, having it come to play tapped isn't great for tempo, not even having a land at all is worse, and that makes you less likely to actually play a game. So that's it for the video. Let me know in the comments section how I could have played better, what deck choices you would have made differently, as well as any ways to improve the channel. I'm still starting out with this channel, and I want to find ways to improve it, visually, how do I sound, how do I look, what content you guys want to see. Is there any other commanders that are in standard right now or from Zendikar Rising you'd want me to build a deck around? If you liked the video, please help me out by hitting the like button down below. If you want to see more Brawl content brought to you weekly, click the subscribe button. As always, thanks for visiting the Batcave, and have a great day.